For years, the world told millennials that buying a home was the ultimate milestone, a sign of stability, a badge of adulthood, proof that you were finally winning at life. But the numbers in 2025 tell a very different story. 82% of millennial homeowners regret at least one major part of their home purchase. Not 10%, not 40%, 82%. And yet, here's the paradox. 81% of millennials planning to buy in 2026 are confident they won't have regrets. Let that sink in. 8 out of 10 current owners regret buying a home. 8 out of 10 future buyers believe they will be the exception. This isn't optimism. This is delusion. This is narrative conditioning. And it's about to cost an entire generation hundreds of billions of dollars. Today, we're going to break open the psychology behind this regret epidemic. We'll dissect the math no one runs, the emotional traps social media encourages, and the hidden costs that quietly destroy homeowners from the inside out. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why so many buyers feel blindsided, and what you must do to avoid becoming another regret statistic in 2026. Let's go deeper. The question that could have saved 72% of pandemic buyers. Before anything else, I'm going to give you the most important question a homebuyer can ever ask. The one that would have saved 72% of pandemic buyers from their biggest financial mistake. Ready? Can I afford this home if something major breaks in the first year? That's it. 30 seconds. A single sentence. Yet it could have prevented hundreds of thousands of bankruptcies, foreclosures, emergency loans, and shattered savings accounts. Because here's the truth the real estate industry never advertises. It's not the purchase price that destroys most homeowners. It's the aftermath. Let's expose what actually happens after the keys hit your hand. The regret statistics no one wants you to see. The latest bank rate survey exposes a reality buyers don't want to accept. 45% of all homeowners have regrets. 44% of recent buyers within the last 2 years have regrets. 31% of first-time buyers experience immediate regret. 9% say they never should have bought. But what's causing the regret? Let's break the patterns down. The 4 types of homebuyer regret. 1. Location, plus-in, lifestyle mismatch, 34%. This is the most common regret and also the most predictable. People buy the wrong home in the wrong area. For the wrong stage of life, these regrets break down into 19% outgrew their home faster than expected. 17% compromised on location and now hate it. 17% discovered bad neighbors or a declining neighborhood. This isn't just dissatisfaction, it's daily psychological friction. And friction destroys quality of life. 2. Design plus feature regrets, 18%. These are the people who bought the Instagram kitchen instead of the structurally sound home, the ones seduced by superficial upgrades. Quartz countertops, farmhouse sinks, fresh paint, staged furniture, trendy backsplash. They ignored the fundamentals and now regret the trade-off. 3. Financial knowledge gaps, 30%. This is where the real damage happens. 15% underestimated property taxes and insurance. 15% admit they simply weren't educated enough about the buying process. Imagine signing a 30-year contract without understanding the true cost. That's what millions of millennials did. Why? Because for the first time in history, people are buying homes based on TikTok videos, Instagram posts, emotional urgency, social pressure, FOMO, not mathematics. 4. Hidden cost shock, 24%. This is the category that destroys people financially. Hidden costs create the deepest regrets. 13% overwhelmed by expensive upkeep. 11% realized owning a home is nothing like the fantasy they imagined. But here's the truth bomb. 40% of all homeowners say maintenance and hidden costs are way higher than expected. This isn't a small oversight. This is a generational crisis. The 5,000 emergency problem. 59% can't handle it. Here's the number that should terrify anyone thinking about buying a home. 59% of homeowners cannot afford a $5,000 emergency repair. And 23% can't even afford a $1,000 emergency repair. But here's the harsh reality. Homes don't ask permission before breaking. They don't wait for your savings. They don't care about your financial plan. They fail when they fail. And when they fail, your wallet bleeds. Let's break down the numbers no buyer calculates before signing their mortgage. The true cost of homeownership, the part no one explains. The average annual cost of owning a home beyond the mortgage is $24,529 to $27,606 per year. Let's break that into the pieces buyers never consider. Utilities, $7,319 year, just electricity, water, gas, and trash. Standard maintenance, $6,187 year. This is not optional. This is not emergencies. This is the cost of simply keeping your home intact. Renovation. Replacement, $5,762 year. Every home needs these eventually. Property taxes, $4,012 year. These usually increase every single year. Homeowners insurance, $2,706 year higher in climate risk states. HOA fees, if applicable, $3,737 year. Add it all up and you get $735,170 in extra costs over 30 years. You pay for 2 homes but only live in one, on top of the mortgage, on top of the interest, on top of inflation. Most buyers never see this coming until they're drowning. The most common surprise expenses, the ones that break people. Here are the repairs nearly every homeowner faces. 68% replace major appliances unexpectedly, 64% deal with plumbing issues, 59% face HVAC breakdowns, 59% encounter roof repairs, 36% discover electrical issues. These are not rare events, these are statistical. Guarantees, if you buy a home without budgeting for these, you are not buying a home. You are stepping into a financial minefield. The psychology of bad home buying decisions. Now let's talk about the real reason this crisis is happening. Not money, not interest rates, not inventory. The problem is emotional. 38% of first-time buyers felt rushed. Rushed buyers are 3x more likely to regret their purchase. 34% felt overwhelmed. 28% were stressed, 25% were anxious. People are buying homes in panic mode, with clouded judgment, under social pressure, while comparing themselves to friends online. Not because it makes financial sense, but because they feel behind. And that brings us to the most dangerous psychological factor of all. Social media is creating false confidence. This is the part nobody wants to admit. TikTok users have an 88% regret rate, higher than any other group. Why? Because they feel educated without being trained. They confuse content consumption with expertise. They watch staged renovations and assume they're simple. They see dream home walkthroughs and expect perfection. They're influenced by algorithms designed to sell fantasies, even worse. Only 5% of TikTok users say they feel uneducated about buying. Yet 88% regret their decisions. That's the definition of confidence without competence, and nothing is more dangerous. The questions. Buyers should be asking, but aren't. We've analyzed thousands of comments, threads, and conversations. Here are the questions real people are panicking over. 1. Should I wait until rates drop in 2026? Rates may not drop enough to matter. Fannie Mae expects 5.9%. MBA predicts 6.4%, not game-changing. And if rates drop but prices surge, your monthly payment stays the same or worse. 2. Is renting actually smarter right now in most markets? Yes. Renting requires $64,200 income. Buying requires $169,600. That's a $50,000 gap. Renting preserves mobility, cash flow, and freedom. Buying locks you into a 30-year financial commitment. 3. What are buyers overlooking? Everything that matters. Electrical systems, plumbing, HVAC, roof age, foundation stability, neighborhood trends, insurance availability, climate risk, HOA solvency. People buy kitchens, flooring, and staging, not the actual house. 4. What does homeownership really cost each year? $24,500 minimum, $2,044 per month. Every month, forever. If you aren't prepared for that, buying is a mistake. Why some experts still say, buy now, and why they're half right. To be fair, home ownership can build wealth. If you buy strategically, smart buyers. Treat homes as investments. Buy below their means. Avoid emotional decisions. Prioritize structure over cosmetics. Budget for long-term maintenance. Have a deep emergency fund. The average buyer does none of that. That's why regret is exploding. What 2026 will really look like? The honest forecast: rates 5.9%, 6.4% better than now, not good enough. Home sales up 9.2%, still below normal. Inventory up 5% or 10%, but nowhere near enough for affordability. Prices expected to rise 4% or 5%, canceling out the benefit of lower rates. 2026 will be slightly easier, but not the miracle people are hoping for. The 2026 Buyer Survival Framework. Here's the blueprint every buyer must follow. 1. Understand the true cost if you can't afford mortgage. Plus 2, that's 44 for FOMO in hidden costs. Don't buy. 2. Recognize emotional traps. If you feel rushed, pressured, overwhelmed, anxious, behind, stop. You're on the path to regret. 3. Ask the right questions. The essentials: can I afford a $5,000 emergency? Does this home match the next 7 to 10 years of my life? Would I buy this home without social media pressure? Can I walk away and be at peace? If the answer to any is no, you're not ready. 4. Do not chase falling interest rates. Rates might drop 0.3, 0.4%. Prices will rise more than that. Don't play timing games. 5. Build a real emergency fund. If you don't have $10,000, $15,000 minimum liquid, you are not ready to own property. At any rate, the truth about millennial regret. The media keeps framing this like a generational failure. It's not. Millennials aren't the problem. The system is the problem. A system where homes are priced like luxury assets. Interest rates punish first-time buyers. Insurance costs are exploding. Maintenance expenses outpace wage growth. Social media glorifies unaffordable lifestyles. Algorithms reward emotional decision-making. People aren't failing, they're being set up. But now you know the truth that most buyers never hear until it's too late. Use it. If you take anything from this video, let it be this: you don't win by buying a home. You win by buying the right home at the right time for the right reasons. Homeownership isn't a badge of honor. It's not a rite of passage. It's not a status symbol. It is a 30-year financial contract that demands discipline, clarity, and emotional stability. Most buyers enter the process blind. Now you're not one of them. So before you sign anything, run the numbers, check the emotions, reject the pressure, and make the decision from strength, not fear. Because the biggest financial decision of your life deserves more than a rushed timeline and a TikTok tutorial. Be the exception, not the statistic.